Hello there, I'm your host Dan Rojas.
And I'm Denise Rojas, and welcome to Green Power Science.
In this video, we are going to be making a table with a beautiful gloss surface from a piece of wood that actually fell in our yard.
It wasn't just any piece of wood. This was a huge limb that fell from one of our large trees and a little tornado that had come through.
The tornado happened in 2012. While we waited a year, the limb sat there and it didn't decompose. A few little bugs got into it, but Denise and I took it from the back part of our property up to the front part where our shop is.
And this tree was about 150 pounds.
To section off the pieces of this wood for the proper size, we used a small hand circular saw and a reciprocating saw. The first step in the process was getting the legs off. We made the legs all the same length. To do this, we had to build a frame for it, something that is square. This gives us the opportunity to cut them off all at the same length and make sure that the bottom of the leg is square to the top of the leg. So if our leg is square to this, then our backer is going to have to be flush. So once we cut this, we're going to cut off this piece, and then that's going to be our guide for every other leg. Okay. Every leg will have the same basic format.
You're using a level to see if this is correct?
It won't matter at this point right now. We just got to make sure our bottom is as flush as possible to this. So we're going to put a spacer right here.
God, if I had to do this myself,
I
would cry.
Hold this right here.
And give up really fast.
Okay, now, what I want to show you is,
oh wow.
You see how this all lines up now?
Yeah, but then go ahead and get the level.
It's not, you don't need to level it
now.
Level. Everything's good and we're snug. So, it has to be right because our backer says so. So we cut that off, and we can release this, and this is level. Do you see that? Flush and level. So now our spacers come into play. We're not lifting on the bottom, which is important because it has a tendency to want to lift this way. All even.
Let's see.
Mid-level.
Oh yeah.
Level.
Beautiful. You just have to be very, very careful because you can easily keep trimming and trimming and trimming. We had a few little
instances with bugs while we were working on it.
Since we're bug friendly, there was a nest that was building in Dan's saw. A big wasp's nest. And while I was carrying some of the wood, I got nailed really bad. And then Dan later on got nailed pretty badly too.
I got nailed.
I got nailed right there. Dan, your wasp little nest, they're definitely getting active, very active. Well, be careful because they're swarming around you now.
Okay, well if they bite me, I'll spray them.
Okay. Ah! Oh, God! It! Ow! He hit me! Ow! Can you do me a favor and spray him? He just fucking nailed me. Shocker. How fucking burny that is.
See your boo-boo.
My boo-boo.
That's nice.
Oh yeah, that really was an intense, you know, ouch. I got bit.
Ooh, he did get you.
Oh yeah, he sure did.
Look, they're all gone now.
Dan, there's one under there.
Once we had all the legs squared up, it was time to move on to the tabletop. Now these thick logs were about 9 inches in diameter.
Okay, that's your pen. Well, you know what? You lose every pen, but this one won't be lost.
While a table saw blade is 10 inches, you only get access to half of it, which gives you a little bit less than 5 inches. I made a square for this that enabled us to have a guide to get our first straight cut, flip it over, and cut it again. That way we use the saw blade 2 times. We use 4.5 inches, and the other 4.5 inches we get a flat edge. Once you have a flat edge, you can run the wood through to make a nice square block.
So after Dan did a whole bunch of trimming, this was his final piece that he was able to get out of a beautiful log like this. You can see how gorgeous the texture is on the inside. It's absolutely exquisite with all this gorgeous wood grain. It's really going to make for a beautiful table.
Normally Dan can do woodworking very quickly, but this wood was really hard, very thick, and the process the first time around took quite a long time, but then he built up his tempo and we finally got it completed.
So it took me about an hour and a half to get the squares out of this. Now, putting these squares together was a tricky process. The wood glue in Florida tends to not want to dry right away because of the high humidity.
It's just hard to believe that this is a limb that would have been otherwise trashed. I love it.
What I had to do was come up with a way of pressing the wood together. We used the back of our pickup truck. By jacking the pickup truck up not too high, you don't want the tires to come off the ground, this table fit up under there nicely. Making sure that your fingers are nowhere near anything that can get crushed, I used this bottle jack to lower the truck back down, and it sat there for a while. I'm sliding our blocks out. Nobody's putting their hand in between there. And what we're going to do is going to knock our tabletop over.
Oh my God. How about if I step back?
Pickup comes down and peas. Wow. Jack comes out. Now it's on the tires, so this is what we have.
Nice. Actually, I don't know if I can. It's pretty. It weighs like 50 pounds. You have no idea how heavy this thing is. It's like a block of wood. Here, take it from me because I'm going to get all dirty. Maybe 40 pounds?
Maybe it is.
I was pretty skeptical that that wood was going to stay together, but it did work out.
Just wanted to make sure no one drove off with the pickup while the table was still under there.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
You don't want to use a floor jack because they can come down pretty fast. Anytime that you're lifting something up and your hands are going to be close to it, do not use a floor jack. Definitely use a bottle jack, and be very careful if you do this.
I just stayed back and let Dan take care of it.
Once the wood set up and everything was together, it was time to trim up the edges and get the front surface nice and even. We took regular straight pieces of wood to build up the outer edge. This gives us a surface that is perfectly even. We took the table saw, raised the blade up just a little bit, and we were able to run it over the top of the table saw back and forth to make our own planer. Did that take that nick out?
Pretty good.
So with this setup, it'd take you about 5 minutes to clean the front of the board off. A planer would be a lot easier and quicker, but if you don't have one or have the $1,000 to buy one or $500 or however much they are, this works great. What this does is it gives us a nice smooth surface. These outer boards do not get cut into. The wider they are, a 2x4 would be a better option. The wider they are, the more you can cut into them and the closer to the edges that you can get. You won't get the curved effect, but you can get close. The rest of this you want to take down with a belt sander. So this gives us a nice flat finish all the way across.
You want to make sure that you put wood around the edges, otherwise you'll be planing and it'll just take forever.
And you'll end up with no table left.
That would be terrible.
That would be. These outer edges give you the opportunity to cut into them a little bit and leave their dimensions. So you go through and the saw blade doesn't move. This gives you a nice straight, even edge. So the top of our table was perfectly flat. Once the top was planed, it was time to sand it. I used a belt sander. This is kind of a dangerous process. You probably don't want to do it the way that I did it. It's a little bit rugged style, but it worked.
Once again, I stood back and I let Dan do it, and I just kept watching going, unbelievable. It's a tedious process. We almost done?
No, we're not.
Didn't want a lousy table anyway. Just chuck it.
Sell it for $5 on eBay.
He's really good at this.
The edges of the table looked good with blocks, but we wanted to use the pieces of wood that we cut off as a veneer to close it off. This is a nice piece.
You do both sides?
Yeah. What you want to do though is have enough to overlap. Oh.
Good looking, but it's pretty.
Well, that was an afterthought, and it really was more of a challenge than he probably first realized.
If you have a stupid dumb hole like this, use thin pieces of wood to jam down in there. They'll naturally break off on their own because they're natural and they're stupid. And I hate natural stuff. Don't make your own table. Go to IKEA. Save yourself a fucking aggravation.
It was a lot harder than I ever imagined. I had visioned in my head that we were going to have this huge table, and once we ended up getting a smaller one that was as perfect as this, I was so relieved.
Denise used her painting skills with an HVLP gun to put a nice gloss on the legs. We hung them inside of a room that we made. This is our water parabola structure, and what we decided to do was put the pallet wrap around it like we did in a previous greenhouse video. This doesn't totally enclose it. It allows for some of the paint fumes to escape, but it does take the wind out of the picture so you don't have blushing that appears, and you get a beautiful gloss finish.
I was worried about some of the humidity that would build up because we're here in Florida, but it turned out to be quite a perfect setup.
Denise used her special painting mixture.
This is a universal clear coat with a 4:1 ratio hardener. I like the spot hardeners because they dry a little bit quicker than just the universal type of hardeners. Normally you do 4:1 ratio. I really don't like doing that. I usually go 5:1. I think it's better. And overall you don't see a whole lot of like bubbles, and it get a very smooth surface.
So our names are on the bottom of the table.
Dan made it look so easy. It looks like he was just signing his name but using the sun and the lens. It took me a little bit longer.
Denise had trouble getting the focal point properly adjusted to the angle of the sun. Since I do it every day pretty much, it was easy for me, but
It's not that easy.
once the legs were completed and everything was put together, it was time to screw the legs in. Everything matched up very nicely. The table was not wobbly at all, so the angle cuts that we did to match the bottom to the top worked perfectly. Now it was time to gloss the sides up, so we used regular high gloss paint for the edges, and the tabletop was the final part. That was a little trickier than I thought. Denise was favoring the standard sand and clear coat.
I thought that was a great idea because that's how furniture's done, and it seemed like that was the best choice.
A pour-on resin like bar tops to use would be a good option, but it still has a little waviness to it. In fact, automotive painting, if you look at a car close up, most new cars that come off of the auto line actually have orange peeling in them. This, I wanted to have a beautiful glass surface to it, so I used a polyester resin. Now the polyester resin is designed for surfboards, and it dries with UV curing from the sun. So your time factor is very tricky.
Sensitive.
Very sensitive. If you just put it on, let it build up, and have a nice, it'll pour on nice and smooth and have a very water-like texture to it, but as it hardens and the endothermic process kicks in, it starts to orange peel. So what I did was I took a large piece of a smooth acrylic sheet, a scrap piece, and I placed it on top of there and pressed it down.
I love it, Dan. It's perfect in every way, and it's super shiny, just like we thought it'd be. I even like some of the imperfections. Look, a couple little spots there. But that's to make sure that people know that this was really done by...
I had to take a small tool and cut some of the excess polyester resin off. It's a lot thicker than I thought, and it took a little bit longer, but the end result I was really happy with.
I was so totally impressed with the tabletop. It actually looks like there is a piece of glass that's on the wood. It's absolutely beautiful. You can put your fingers on there. There's no fingerprints.
It's been sitting in the sun for 3 days, and it is totally cured.
Absolutely
Wipes down
gorgeous.
nice, and it keeps its shine. Over time, it's probably going to get a little scratches here and there, but
what I love is that there's a contrast with the legs being somewhat bare, and there is a shine, but it really has a nice contrast at the top. And not only that, but the texture of the wood, absolutely beautiful.
The clear gloss sinks into the wood and allows the colors to come out.
I had no idea that these trees that we have are so beautiful. And over the years, limbs have fallen. We've usually have mulched or burned, or it's a typical thing that most people do. Not realizing how gorgeous some of this wood is. We're going to be wanting to do some more. But now that we've got the first project down, hopefully everything else would be a lot easier.
This table took a lot of work.
A lot of work.
We could do them a lot faster now. I probably wouldn't sell this one because it has character and it has a lot of memories built into each little section that we did.
I love it. I think it's really, really beautiful.
If you want to buy it, you can have it for $2,000.
$2,000?
I'm
I
selling
think
this
it's
table.
priceless.
Very nice.
And I thought that Dan's technique for the top is so impressive. I really, really was hesitant at first. Did not think it was going to work out. And when I saw the end result, he actually surprised me with the second try around. I couldn't believe how gorgeous it came out.
If you have a tree limb that's fallen in your yard and you want to repurpose it,
Or maybe reclaim it or upscale it.
this is the way that you would do it. This is the way that we did it. I'm your host, Dan Rojas.
I'm Denise Rojas. Thank you for watching and enjoy your videos.
Cat thinking he's playing.
Okay, hold
Oh my God. I would yell at him, but he's so fucking cute. Oh no, he's gonna bite you. He's just in a mood today.
Ow! It was nice.
Ah, there's a razor going up my leg. Oh my God. I don't know where it is. Seriously, did you see?
It's in your pants.
I'm so scared.
Hold on, come here.
Ah, help! Help!
Take your pants off.
No way!
Wait, stop.
Help! Ah. Oh my God! Oh wow, this is really something. Here. Kind of smooth. Yeah.
I got like 25th place on Instructables.
Yeah, but look at that. Oh my God, Dan, it's really quite cute too. And then what are these? Like little stickers.
Instructables.
Wow, I really like the
Here you go.
shirt.
You want to?
I mean, oh my God. Why don't you just go to the washroom? Do me a favor, just go home and change your shirt.
I started with the shitty shirt. I finished with the shitty shirt.
Oh, so glad that's not me. Here, we're gonna lay this back down, right?
Lay it forward.
Alright, so the intro's already been done.
Pine tree's getting fresh with me, get it?
Say your cute little shit.
There's nothing, no, I don't want to say any cute shit, I'm shy. Kind of suck.
Yeah, I'd put.
What did she do? That's it. No, that's an undercover cop, isn't it?
I know, yeah, but he just waved at Glenda.
Oh, okay.
What, you paranoid about something?
Yeah, I'm really paranoid about something.
And things like that. There was a hidden no. We tend to be extremely. I'm trying to. What am I saying?
Just say we like bugs.
Yeah.
Especially with wood like this that is natural and has not been dried in a especially with wood like this that has been.
Hold on. I'm sweating. Don't look.
No, you look good.
Okay, hold on. I must confess, I was really skeptical, and once we were finally finished with the whole thing, I was astounded at what we were able to achieve.
We're not even close to that part yet.
Okay.
A pour-on resin that bar tops use woodwork. I said where?
Woodwork. That would have been otherwise trash.
Homestead.
No, you want to go
Homestead. I don't know.
Homestead. Did you want to keep?
Don't mention. Why would?
Oh, I was sorry.
Okay. Just be just say, I was totally impressed with the tabletop.
Okay. Towards the pond?
Which one? A million of them fell. Fucking things. Now those are 2x4s though, right?
This is a tree limb.
That is? You know what you ought to do? Level them off. Or try level them. Get them tied together and make Denise a plant stand.
I'm making a table.
Okay.
So the first one,
Dan can do it all because he's Superman. Oh, Dan, please save the fucking lizard. Boo-boo! You're really getting me mad today. Okay, it's gone. He's just a little...
right here, and hook it up. So I need the drill with the plus bit.
Careful, wasp is bugging you.
So we're gonna have 3 lawnmowers to contend with.
Okay, and I'm sure your mom's gonna have something to say. Oh dear God, Robbie, you're really annoying.
Where are you going?
Mario, Michael, pick me up here. She's 81 going on 30. I don't know how she does it.
She's gonna be 81.
She will be 81 soon. Right.
Tomorrow morning.
What?
What?
See you tomorrow morning
Where are you going?
on a cruise.
Drive safely!
You're going to the casino, I bet.
Yes.
She hates the casino too. That's the
I know
best
this.
part.
Wait, she hates a cruise, she said.
She